the caterpillar tries to run. Okay? No matter how fast the caterpillar tries to run, it's still not going to achieve the heights of the butterfly. When you think about the transformation that a caterpillar has to go through in order to emerge in its fullest, highest potential as a butterfly, that's what the quantum leap is about. So I want to welcome you to the Abundant Life series that I'm hosting at toyinyumesiri.academy, my school, my business school for success and business growth. So thank you for joining me today. I've been on this series. It's a series of self-discovery into self-discovery. It's a series into transformation. It's also a series that helps you unleash your inner power, right? It's about your inner power. It's also about your potential, unleashing your highest, fullest potential. So I'm going to dive into 5 steps to achieving your quantum leap today. Okay? It's going to be powerful. So thank you for joining me. And those who are also joining the replay, I want to say thank you for being here. Give thumbs up, like, share, follow. This is something you do not want to miss. So again, quantum leap is really about achieving transformational results, really. It's not incremental results, because if you continue doing more of the same things you're doing, at best you would achieve more of the same results. Okay, so that's one of the mistakes. One of the things most people do is that they tell you to do more content, more this, more that, more that. Is that the thought process behind your more? If it doesn't change, you're likely to absolutely get more of the same results. So quantum accomplishment is really something drastically different from what you've ever seen before. And in order to achieve your quantum leap, it also means you've got to do something radical that you've never done before. Okay? So I'm going to break those things down, 5 steps to achieving your quantum leap. The first one is you've got to go through a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift. Why is this important? So going back to the analogy of the caterpillar, okay? What I see is that people go into training the caterpillar. You know, how do you train the caterpillar? You tell the caterpillar, walk faster, much faster, lift this leg, let's go this way. People are forming an army of caterpillar because they're not telling you that you need to grow wings. You've got to grow some wings. You've got to grow some wings. You've got to shed skeleton. You've got to change your mindset. You've got to attain. You've got to develop new skill sets. That's what's missing today, is that many people are being coached into doing more of the same. They are not being coached into a paradigm shift. Because the paradigm shift means the mind, which is the GPS of your life, has to be reset. That's the first step to achieving quantum results. The frame of mind, your approach to life, your perception, your awareness, the programming that you've adopted, right? You've got to reprogram yourself. Just think about a plane. If a plane is set to a destination and it's on autopilot, if you don't reset that plane's GPS and you try to force it into a new direction, it's not going to work. That's what people are going through right now. You're trying to force yourself to achieve new results. And it's creating a lot of stress, frustration, right? You're trying to take the autopilot and you're trying to take your car or your plane and you're trying to force it. You're fighting yourself. You're fighting yourself, right? Because the GPS, the programming is set on a particular destination. So no matter the adjustments you're trying to make, the incremental adjustments you're trying to make in your life, you're taking off, you're coming down. You're taking off, you're coming down. You're taking off. Why? The programming. Okay? It's programmed at a certain destination. You think a certain way, you do specific things, you show up into the world a certain way, and that is what is determining all the results that you're getting right now. So, the way you first have to go on your quantum leap, you've got to set your eyes on a different level. You've got to just reshape, we've got to reprogram that GPS. You've got to go back to interrogate your reality, to check in with yourself, to question the decisions you're currently making. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you showing up this way? Why are you not doing what you're supposed to be doing? On and on and on. One of the things that people have also done is they've not prioritized what they should prioritize. So they say, I don't have time. You don't have time. You don't have this. You don't have money. You don't have this. You don't, all the you do not haves. Listen, you've got to change how you see life. As long as you always orient towards you don't have this, you don't have that, it's a paradigm. It's a set. Your mind is set towards lack. Everything you do not have is your vision versus possibilities, a sense of possibilities. If you cannot set your eyes on higher potentials, on higher levels, if you cannot set your gaze on possibilities and you're only setting it on impossibilities, listen, you can't leap. It's the orientation. You talk to people, oh, no time. You talk to no money, no this. So what do you have actually? What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? Check your inventory. What do you have at hand? What skills do you have? Because here's the key. You're going to go to where you're going to. Starting, the first step is what do you have? Inventory of what do you have. And as long as you formed a narrative about everything that is not within your control, everything that is, that's all it's going to get you. You're only going to get what you can get with that limitation that you've imposed on yourself. So the very first step is to disrupt your orientation, your mindset. You've got to shift completely how you've oriented yourself. Okay? You've got to shift it completely how you've oriented yourself. Sorry about that. Let me put it on mute. And you've got to completely take on a new programming. That's where in my academy, Toyin Umesiwi Academy, we go into the game plan. So every time you see the game plan, 12 strategies for winning, the game plan, 30 keys to unlock success, anytime you hear the game plan, that's what this is about. The reprogramming of the self. We've got to program ourselves towards success, abundance, possibilities, greater heights, next levels. You've got to set your gaze on a new destination. Right? But as long as your gaze and the way the stories you've crafted to govern your life, if you don't disrupt those stories, they will continue to get you everything that they're already getting you. That's the first step. To quantum leap, you've got to have a paradigm shift, and it's a major one. It's not an incremental one, because again, the caterpillar can't keep marching. The caterpillar can keep exercising. The caterpillar can keep screaming. The caterpillar can keep singing, I believe I can fly. Listen, until you grow some wings, until you shed the skeleton and you take on a new identity, until you grow a new brain. Literally, the butterfly's head looks different, right? Literally, until you gain and grow a new heart, until you grow a new energy, a new thought pattern. I've talked about energy is neutral, but your thoughts polarizes it negatively or positively. Until you start polarizing and thinking positivity, potential, right? Listen, forget, just tune. If you're not ready to do that, just tune this off because there's nothing else I'm going to tell you after this that will work. If you don't change who you are, right? Who you've become, who you've agreed to become. If you don't shift that, you can keep running your race. You can keep trying everything you're trying. You can keep doing everything they tell you to do. You can keep creating more content. You can keep showing up to everything. You are just throwing all kinds of things everywhere. The first thing, you've got to change your programming. Paradigm shift. You've got to have this change in behavior, change in thinking, change in showing up. You've got to have that. That's the first one. Okay? The second one, yes, Pastor Cornelius, I see you growing. And the energy is neutral. If you look at a battery, but it is polarized positive, negative. Your thoughts is what shifts your energy. And once you have negative thoughts, whatever action you take, it leads to negative emotion, negative action. When you have positive thoughts, it polarizes the energy. It leads to positive feeling, positive action, positive results. So if you don't change your mind, you're polarized. If you've polarized yourself towards limited this, you've got to shift it to unlimited abundance, possibilities, because that's what you want to go after. That's where the spirit of quantum leaping is coming from, right? Exponential growth. It's growth, not incremental, exponential, radical. It's a radical way. So if you don't think beyond what you think is possible, if you're only thinking of, oh, this is the only thing possible for me, then again, it's back to the challenge. Okay. Sense of possibilities. Number 2, you've got to need precision and accuracy. This is not when you are testing. This is not when they say fail fast, do this. You can't quantum leap when you don't know what you're doing, when you've not become a master. This is why in my school, I always say develop skill, master the skills, because the best results belong to the masters. Because the things the masters can do, listen, the masters will quantum leap. When you think about Tiger Woods, is that when you develop skill with repetition over time and you attain mastery, you can start playing at some new games at the mastery level. There's some things you start doing. There's some things Tiger Woods does with the golf ball that an amateur cannot figure it out. Quantum leap is for the masters. Quantum leap is once you've developed the skills, you know what you're doing, you have strategies, you know what works, you know what doesn't work, you've done all of those things. Quantum leap requires precision and accuracy. You set your gaze fiercely on your goals, you know what you need to do to achieve those results, and you do it over and over again with specific strategies to amplify your results. This is not for the amateurs. That's why I always say, learn fast. Learn fast, because there's so much you can do once you are a master. There's so much you can do. This is when you see the genius come out, right? Is that when you think about the surgeons, 30 years after, when they've achieved mastery, listen, brilliance emerge. They show up at new levels. That's where you start reading innovation. You hear the doctors, the surgeons that do incredible things when they are doing art transplants, all of those things. Listen, those things are not for amateurs. You see that in their minds come together, some level of brilliance at a certain level. After mastery is quantum. Okay? So learn fast. Learn fast. One of the things for sure that I've seen in this world, I know how the biggest brands in the world think. I served as a strategist at the headquarters of the largest company in the world, Fortune 1. And I can tell you with a fact, the winners do not think like the losers. The best of the best of the best in the world, Fortune 1. They are thinking, because I served as a strategist, are thinking, When I come to the streets of social media, what is happening on social media is people are forming an army of caterpillars. Let us march. Oh, lift your legs. Let's form a rhythm. You can see it all over. And I'm going, how far can you go with that? You can't fly. You can't quantum leap. The biggest brands in the world, the biggest companies in the world, the most successful people in the world, they are not forming an army. Or with this, how far can you go with these skills, this thing, like the way you think, the way you speak, on and on and on. Listen, you've arrived. Quantum leaping belongs to the masters. Because once you've attained mastery in any subject, you can start playing a different game. Okay? With strategy. You can start playing a different game. You can start tweaking, right? To get exceptional results. Beyond possible. Listen, first brand, Fortune 1. Do you know how much they made this past year? 600 billion. It's about precision. 50 plus years of precision retail. Somebody is just starting retail today. Amateur, first timer, learn fast. Because the masters, listen, they are doing some incredible things with AI, technology, blockchain, RFID. They at the mastery level, listen, you unlock unlimited results. Mastery matters. Learn fast because you need precision and accuracy to attain your quantum leap. It's like the plane taking off. This is not when you put an amateur pilot behind the plane. The masters, they will they know what they're doing and they know how to get results. The masters also know how to fight turbulence, right? They know how to say, okay, check, 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 check. And you see them on the runway. You can hear the sound, dudum, dudum, right? You can hear the reading, dudum. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing, dudum. They know how to take off, dudum. It's the same motion, but it's building up. It's building up, which is the third thing. We need momentum. Momentum is how you quantum leap. More of accurate skills. More. You need momentum to take off. You absolutely need momentum to take off. You know what's also going to help you to take off? Every force opposing you is what will give you uplift. To take off to the next level, next level, quantum levels, right? Everything that you say is your opposition is going to be what you're going to ride on, because this is not steps. Remember, incremental result is step 1, step 2, step 3. How you skip step is you overcome opposition. You use everything against you as your uplift. And the way you take off is you accelerate. But accuracy first. Because listen, if you're trying to accelerate something that is not working, listen, it doesn't work. You get nothing. You crash yourself. A faulty step would only crash the plane. If the tire is broken and you say, speed up, pilot, speed up, plane, the plane will crash. That's why I said, this is not for amateurs. This is for the masters. You've developed systems. You have strategies. You have skills, superior skills. Quantum leap is for you. You've not done all of the work. Please go and enroll. Because if anything is not working well, you don't take off. That's why the plane, they have their checklist. Check, 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 check. You hear them tell you, give us a moment, please. We're looking for da 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 da. You can hear them, and everybody sits down because listen, we are banking on this takeoff. We don't want faulty start. We don't want anything faulty, right? Quantum leap is not for people that don't know what they're doing. That's why I say learn fast, because there's so much more you can do. when you are a master, right? So you need momentum. How do you build momentum? That's number 4. You have to collapse time, right, with effort. Momentum builds up when you are able to do things accurately, precisely, in a shorter amount of time, right? So when the runway, but then you speed it up, meaning the time collapses, the effort increases. That's when you actually generate energy. You generate the energy for your uplift. Okay? Momentum is the level of action that will generate the power energy you need for next level. That's why if the rocket is taking off, listen, you have to pack something greater than your position. Okay. I'm keeping it simple. I'm looking at time. I'm going to start wrapping up with number 5. But before I wrap up, let me do a quick recap. Number 1, paradigm shift, precision, accuracy. This is not for amateurs. Momentum, you want to build up over time, shorter time, more effort of what is working, not what is failing. You get my points? That is why when you've tested, tried, you've developed skills, you now know what works. You now leave the lab, you go into the mainstream, you now do more of what works in less time, and you put more power, energy behind it. And that is where momentum is generated, and it creates your uplift. And every force of opposition, you use it to ride. Because you're not taking the steps. It's elevator. You ride the wave. In my book, I talk about ride the wave, mindset of an entrepreneur. And finally, we're talking about 5 steps to quantum leap. Finally, you have to set your gaze on your new destination. You can't look back. Don't look back. Leave people behind. Leave people alone. This is when you stop doing those, remember the old behaviors. When you become a butterfly, quit talking about the caterpillars. Leave them alone. Because you know why? If the pilot takes his eyes or her eyes off where you're going, where you're heading, the plane will follow. The plane will follow your gaze. So if you don't want to come back down, you don't look down, you look up. That's why the plane keeps riding until you reach the altitude. You see, when you take off, the plane, you be climbing, you fasten your seatbelt, and you just keep going. Don't stop. Because the energy you've generated to this point, you don't want to lose momentum. If you lose momentum, you start all over again, guys. If you lose momentum at this stage, you start all over again. This is why you have to be careful. Many people would take my course, and then run away. I'm telling you, you don't want to run away. You want to stay the course. You want to keep riding. You want to reach your unlimited height. This is not when you stop. Because some people achieve a little success and they go, oh, this is perfect. Is that the last thing? There's more. That's why the pilot doesn't stop. The moment he takes off, the pilot keeps riding, keeps rising. And you see that, oh, we've reached altitude this, altitude that. Okay, now, and then you hear doom. Until you are satisfied, you keep riding on that energy. Because that energy that propelled you forward can get you to a certain level, maximize all of that energy to the level it can get you, and then coast. And then again, later, you can go higher again. That's how you do it. So thank you, everyone that has joined. I'll see you later. Join me at Toyin Umesi Academy. We are doing incredible things. There's accelerator programs for those who want to go to the next level of business. Listen, it's a paradigm shift. It's a radical shift. More of the same gets you more of the same. And if you want exceptional results in your life and in your business, join me at Toyin Umesi Academy.